Hi, Shantae here, and this is me checking in. This is an update slash we'll go with self-love motivational, maybe, I don't know. So I shared on social media lately that I've really been struggling, and I've been feeling overwhelmed and out of control, and like I'm self-sabotaging a lot, and I haven't been sure what my deal is, but it sucks and I don't like being here. This is the place I left. This is what I've been working so hard to get out of. And when I committed to that work, when I committed to myself 6 months ago, I committed to doing it 100%. And I have a history of being a quitter. And when I do something, I do it 150%, but there were things that I would quit and I would claim that it was because I didn't want to do them anymore, when in reality it's because things got hard and I quit. And because I didn't want to do it, or I couldn't handle it, and I didn't want to put in the work. And so I'm so thankful that 6 months ago, I had the insight to sign up as a coach when I signed up for my first challenge. And while it's evolved over time, when I originally signed up, my number one reason was to give myself a higher level of accountability. And I knew that I was a quitter, and I knew that I had quit myself so many times. I've gone through this weight loss struggle from the time I turned 18, and it's just been a cycle where I gain 40 pounds and then I work to lose it, and then I gain 40 pounds and I lose it. And I've been in this cycle, and I didn't want to do that cycle anymore. And so I had the viewpoint to sign up as a coach to give myself a higher level of accountability so that quitting wasn't an option. I couldn't give myself the option to fail again, like I had failed so many times. And so here I am, and I'm back at this cycle that I've lost it. I've lost the 40 pounds, and this is the cycle. And this is where I'm at when I'm comfortable in my body. And I'm not confident in my body, but I'm comfortable in my body, and all my clothes fit, and I look good dressed, and I can be in a swimsuit and just make up for being uncomfortable in my body and be the fun girl with the fun personality. And then when I'd be on the boat and girls that had really great bodies came on, I would try and overcompensate for my body with my personality. And I always end up coming off obnoxious. So that's where I'm at. I'm back in that spot, and I've been trying to figure out. I'm very emotional. I'm incredibly emotional. I'm impulsive. I've got an addictive personality. I'm spontaneous, and I'm all emotion. And so that can hinder me a lot of times. And so what I've learned to do is that to take my emotions, and in order to do something about them, I have to learn how to logically understand them and the reason I'm feeling the way that I am. And then in my journey, it's what I'm going to do with those feelings and how I'm going to come at the situation. And that keeps me from making impulsive decisions. And it's something I have to work really, really hard on every single day, and something that I'm learning to do. And so it's been a month, and I've been struggling. And I'm back in the comfortable spot in my body. There's this cycle that happens. And then on top of all of that, my fiance got sent out of town to our hometown to work. And because I work for myself, I came with him. And I'm excited that we don't have to be apart like we were. He worked out of town for about 4 months, and we only saw each other combined maybe 14 days in 4 months, and it sucked. And so I'm really blessed and excited that I can be here, but it also has made me feel really out of control because I struggle with organization and time management, and I struggle without structure in a sense that I just then run on emotion, and everything, it's chaos. And so we moved here. I'm out of my structure. I'm out of my house. We're living in my parents' basement, which I moved out of my parents' house in November of my senior year of high school, and haven't ever really stayed back since. There isn't really any structure in my parents' house. It's pretty chaotic. It kind of always has been. And then they don't live a healthy lifestyle at all. And so that's been contributing to feeling out of control, and that I was already struggling with my weight loss. And I'm so glad that for the first time I did it the healthy way, and I did it the real way, because I can feel the difference. And I feel like shit. And the not working out, and the just doing convenient eating, and not drinking, just all of it, I feel like shit. And to know that this feeling, this tired, groggy, headache, achy thing that I'm feeling, this used to be my normal. And I didn't realize how awful I felt until I felt good. And so because I have that feeling, decide to do it the right way, and I also don't have the option to quit. This is my full-time job. Thankfully, I'm accountable for that I'm having to learn what to do about it instead of falling into that cycle. And so I've been feeling out of control, and I've been using it as an excuse. My circumstances, this situation that I am, all these external factors, which, yes, have an effect on my life, but I've been using them as an excuse for not working out and for poor eating and for not drinking enough water and for feeling stressed and for I've really neglected my business in the last week because I've just let all of that. I'm like, this is my excuse and this is my reason. And while I'm feeling out of control and I'm feeling overwhelmed based on the circumstances that I'm in, those are valid feelings. And you can never feel a right way or a wrong way. You're never wrong for a feeling you have about a situation. It's what you do with that feeling that matters. And there's right or wrong ways that you can react and use those feelings to drive your actions. And so I've been doing that. I can feel that way, but that doesn't mean that I react that way, that I am in total control of my life. And in the last month, kind of, and definitely in the last week, I've been letting my life control me. And it's just because I just let go of the wheel. It'd be like driving down the road and suddenly you're like, oh, you know what? I just don't want to do this anymore. Of course, some chaos is going to happen. And that's what I've been doing. So finally, it took a month and it took taking a step back last night. And I've been just like, yeah. Last night, Brian and I stepped away from the parents and the situation. They invited us to dinner, whatever. Stepped away from that, went and had dinner, just me and him. Got a deep breath. Brian's my true north. He's my neutral. He brings it all back together, and he's the glue that brings my crazy pieces broken together. Sat down with him, and I realized that I'm in control of this. It was like I just gripped onto the wheel again. And that's where I'm at right now, and that I am in this chaos. It's chaos here. And I am in this crazy situation, but all I can do with that is I can take control of that situation, and I need to I've learned to look at all the opportunities, just everything in my entire life, as a sign, take a step back. And that sounds crazy in a sense. I used to think that was crazy, but it's like, what do I have to lose? If I can take the fact that I accidentally dropped a vitamin on the floor to remind me to take my birth control, that happened today. If I can take that as a sign instead of just a vitamin on the floor, why not run with it, right? So I've been looking at everything and trying to take everything as a situation to grow and an opportunity to move forward. And so that's what I did. I stepped back for a second. And when we were home in Boise, I'd gotten pretty comfortable in my routine and comfortable in working for myself and comfortable in working from my kitchen. And I kept telling myself, I've really trying the last month, I've been trying to work on time management, and all of the personal development books I've been reading are focused on time management, webinars and time management. And I bought this really expensive, awesome personalized planner that I hadn't been using. And I told myself if I spent the money, I would use it, and I wasn't. And so I've been saying I was going to do it, but I was in my routine and I was comfortable. And honestly, I had no reason to really have to focus or really have to work on time management because I had all the time that I needed. And now that I'm here, that's what this opportunity is for me. That I could just take this as chaos and let it drag me down, and I've gained 2 or 3 pounds back. And I don't feel good. And I could let this keep going and fall back into that cycle, but I'm not going to. Instead, I look at this as an opportunity to grow. So this is forcing me. We're crazy, insane things as humans. We don't just change. We have to have something that elicits change. And so by taking these negative opportunities and looking at them this way and stepping back and looking at this opportunity and saying, why do I feel this way? And what can I do to fix it? How can I grab back onto that wheel, right? So because I've done that, this is my opportunity. I didn't have a reason to have to do time management. Now I'm in chaos. I have to learn how to actually schedule out my time on how to focus in that time that I'm here. And the other thing about being here too is that I ran from this. This is everything I ran from. Idaho Falls, I moved immediately after my senior year, and I've never turned back. I've never been here for more than 5 days at a time, and I have never wanted to be here. So the fact that I'm willingly here is even a huge step for me, because this is my uncomfortable. Idaho Falls, everything about it is my uncomfortable. Being back in my parents' house is my uncomfortable. Back in this chaos and being an adult and coming to terms and realizing that I'm a big girl. And though my parents' life is chaos, I have the wheel and it doesn't have to be chaos for me anymore. So I'm creating structure. This is what I'm going to do about it. I now have my intentions and I know what I want to do, but how? My big problem has been that not only had I gotten comfortable and starting to fall back into that cycle with my eating, but I also hit a plateau, which sucks. It's a hard place to get to where you're working and nothing's changing anymore. And that happens to everybody. And I hit that. And you can either let it stop you and, like that wall to push you back and then fall back into that cycle like I was falling into, or I hit that wall and I hit that plateau. And this again is an opportunity for me to be better. So I'm creating structure. I'm starting the 21-day fix. It's shipped today. I'm hoping that it shows up on my doorstep really fast. I'm starting the 21-day fix, and that is a portion control program. So it comes with color-coded Tupperware containers that are different sizes, and each color coordinates with a food group. And there's a formula that helps you figure out your calorie deficit and then gives you a number of colored containers per day. And so, for example, purple is fruit. And so say I'm allotted 2 fruit containers a day, 2 purple containers. I can have whatever fruit fits in that container twice a day. And it's a lot more work and it's a lot more structure, but it's also going to make my life easier because you can have too much of a good thing. And that's been my problem. That's why I hit that plateau, that I'm eating the really good food now, but I'm eating way too much of it. Way too much of it. I'm eating the same portion sizes as Brian, who's a dude that does CrossFit. Yeah, I don't need that. And so I'm creating this structure. And I've had to learn to do this. And if I wasn't a coach, I would have given up. I would have fallen in that hole and I would have fallen right back into that cycle. And I would be here right now and I would allow this chaos to happen. And I'd probably fall back into my old habits here, which is what I ran from. And I'd be out drinking, partying, and just hanging out every single night. I don't want to do that. I want to do things like what I'm doing on Friday. And I'm going to share with you guys the tools that I learned how to figure this out, how to get out of that cycle and instead to push forward and take chaos and create structure. I've learned how to do that. I'm teaching myself how to do that. I research every day. My job is to learn how and to teach people how to do that. So Friday, I'm hosting a free self-love seminar in Idaho Falls. It starts at 7 p.m. It's at Johnny Carinos. And it's not just like come in a presentation. I want to sit down, order food. I'm going to order food, scheduled in cheat day. I'm going to order food, sit down. I want to talk. I want to get to know you. You can ask me questions. If you want advice, ask me. That's what I'm here for and that's what I want. And then I also have a presentation where I'm going to break down into 3 steps. They're easy things too. The easy things I did to get here instead of back in that hole and back in that cycle. There's an event on Facebook. It's been shared on my page. Go like me, friend me, do all those good things. And I hope to see you on Friday night, April 11th at Johnny Carinos. It's free. Bring all your friends. Dress up. It's going to be so much fun. I'll see you then.